Thank you, Gabe, and thank you, Jared. And like everybody said, my supporters club, making me feel a lot calmer. To my mom and all my kids, so glad to see you here today. And just a quick mention, even though I'm taking up some of my time, Keish and Jared, happy anniversary for today. Ursh, my beautiful wife, and I have been part of Life Changes for 4 years now. Only 4 years. It does feel like a lifetime, and we probably will be part of this church for the rest of our lives. In our 4 years, I've enjoyed my time at Life Changes. It's the best church in the world. Can I hear an amen? But nothing has prepared me for the deep dive that we are doing in our current season with relentless grace. The book of Galatians is so brutally honest. I mean, think about this. About 1,980 years ago, two of the greatest Christians to ever have lived had a serious disagreement. In fact, to be more precise, they had a proper argument. The relationship between Paul and Peter was complex. It was marked by mutual respect, the occasional conflict, and a shared commitment to spreading the gospel. They were both pivotal in early Christianity. Peter, often seen as the leader of the 12 disciples, and Paul, the apostle to the Gentiles. In 2 Peter 3, verse 15, Peter refers to Paul as his beloved brother, indicating a deep affection and respect for each other. In the book of Galatians, Paul also, as we all know, in the series of Relentless Grace, Paul confronts Peter because he felt that Peter wasn't staying true in the word of the gospel. It was a significant disagreement. But despite these disagreements, the Bible shows that their interactions reflected a commitment to the gospel truth. They showcased unity in their diversity, and their confrontation demonstrated the difficulty early church leaders were having navigating these theological and cultural challenges. The relationship showed us how early Christian leaders were balancing unity and differing perspectives, but it was clear that they both prioritized gospel integrity, even amid personal disagreement. The book of Galatians tells us that we were once slaves, but because Jesus died for us on the cross, we now are free to become God's heirs and sons. The challenge now that we've been given this freedom, how do we keep it? Remember, we haven't been given freedom from sin, but rather the freedom not to sin. And we all agree that that is not easy. And I believe this freedom is worth striving for, even though it is not easy. Having this liberty of spirit doesn't mean doing what we want to do, and it's not doing what other people tell us what to do, but it's actually about letting the Spirit guide us. And having this freedom, we need to stand up as Christians in this freedom, not to sin. And if we get it right, the reward we will get are the fruits that will come from God's favor. And I've got a feeling I'm not the only one that wants to be part of a church that wants to enjoy the fruit of God's favor. I mean, can we get a show of hands? Who wants to be part of a church where God's favor is at work? Come on. A church that helps us live in the liberty of the Spirit will be a church that helps us earn God's fruits: loving care, deep happiness, quiet serenity, endless patience, shared kindness, unstinted generosity, steady reliability, humility, and self-control. That's what Life Changes Century City is to me. If your Spirit is leading your life, you have nothing to fear from this law. Promiscuity, drug addiction, hatred, jealousy, bad temper, prejudice, and envy only happen when you don't walk in the Spirit. So let's praise that the liberty that comes from living in the Spirit is worth fighting for. I'm encouraging us to be more like Paul. Whenever we get out of step, let's be like Paul and be prepared to have the arguments that bring us back to the purity of the gospel. At Life Changes Century City, there are a number of relationships like Peter and Paul's. People are prioritizing the integrity of the gospel because what Peter and Paul were fighting for is still as relevant today as it was then. That's why I'm so happy to be part of this congregation. We are being led by a dedicated and committed leadership team that understands the importance of finding the freedom of spirit that comes from preaching the purity of this gospel. As a 62-year-old, I look back on my personal journey as a Christian, and I can say, only now am I honestly really enjoying the discovery of the true meaning of the gospel. Life Changes has become a pillar of strength to me and my family since we settled in Cape Town. The last few years, when people have asked me, how do you stay so calm when there's so much stuff happening around you? I tell them that I've been touched by the grace of God and of the community at Life Changes. I wish I'd found a church that was led by a crazy redhead Gabe and his wife Fiona earlier. But Gabe and Fiona, thank you for your love and grace. Thank you for your unrelenting sacrifice. It is a privilege to be surrounded by so many humble and caring elders and leaders, and I hope that we never, ever take this for granted. Just a special mention to some people that have helped us over the 4 years. Brett and Shelley, Scott and Amy, Jared and Keisha, obviously, Jerry, Josh. Thank you. Beautiful. But at the same time, I think as a church we have got to remain humble and not become self-righteous. As Life Changes, we've got to show our broader community what it is like to walk in the freedom of God's Spirit. And remember what Gabe always says, Jesus plus something equals nothing, but Jesus plus nothing equals everything. Amen.